Say the word Persia, and a very specific set of images comes to mind. It evokes ancient empires, fine silk carpets, mystical poetry, and a deep, luxurious history. For centuries, the Western world looked at this region through a lens of romanticized wonder, but the word Iran brings a different association. The romance vanishes, replaced by images of geopolitical tensions, heavy economic sanctions, and the reality of a complex, modern state. These two radically different conceptual worlds describe the exact same physical territory. The shift from one word to the other began in 1935, when the country's monarch, Reza Shah Pahlavi, issued a formal request to every foreign embassy. He asked that the word Persia be permanently replaced in all official documents with the indigenous name, Iran. By changing the country's international branding, the Shah intended to realign the nation's global reputation with its internal identity. He was attempting to manage the gap between how his people saw themselves and how they were perceived by the West. To see where the split began, we have to travel back to the 2nd millennium BC, here on the Iranian plateau. When nomadic Indo-Iranian settlers arrived, they named their mountainous homeland Arianum, which translates to the land of the Aryans, or the nobles. This is the direct etymological root of the word Iran. Many people today mistakenly group the region's origins with Arabic culture, but these early settlers spoke Indo-European languages. Their ancient words for family, madar for mother, Pedar for father, share a common ancestry with Latin, Portuguese, and English. Over time, the peoples of the plateau formed distinct tribes. One group settled far to the south in a fertile province called Pars or Fars. At the time, they lacked the military might of their northern neighbors, the Medes, and remained relatively isolated. That isolation ended with a leader named Cyrus the Great. He united the disparate tribes and launched the Achaemenid Empire. While previous ancient Near East rulers maintained control through destruction and exile, Cyrus built his empire on a policy of ruling conquered peoples through respect. Instead of imposing a single culture, Cyrus protected local temples. When he entered a new territory, he adopted the local gods. To the Babylonians, for example, he successfully framed himself as a restorer, chosen by their own deity, Marduk. As Cyrus and his successors expanded their empire from Egypt to Central Asia, they inevitably clashed with the Greeks. Because the Greeks primarily interacted with the imperial ruling dynasty originating from that small southern province of Pars, they applied that local name to the whole map. They mistakenly labeled the entire civilization Persia. That interaction created a 2,500-year dual identity. The people living on the plateau used the name Iran for themselves, yet the rest of the globe knew them as Persians. In 334 BC, the Achaemenid Empire collapsed. Alexander the Great crossed the Hellespont with a highly disciplined Macedonian army and crushed the Persian military in a series of decisive battles. But Alexander didn't erase the culture he conquered. He studied it. He married Persian princesses, wore Eastern robes, participated in local rituals, and utilized the existing Persian bureaucracy to govern his new lands. Fast forward to the 7th century, and the plateau faced another invasion. Arab armies swept out of the peninsula, defeating the local Sassanid rulers. They brought a new political order, the Arabic language, and Islam, which gradually displaced Zoroastrianism, the region's ancient state religion. Once again, the local culture absorbed the shock. The people adopted Arabic script and vocabulary, but they maintained their distinct administrative systems, their sciences, and their highly stylized art and poetry. The region endured centuries of rule by Turkish, Mongol, and Turkmen states. It wasn't until the Safavid dynasty emerged that the territory saw a unified political structure again. The Safavids separated their empire from the surrounding Sunni Arab and Ottoman worlds by enforcing Shia Islam, specifically Twelverism, as the official state religion. By combining Shia spirituality with their ancient imperial legacy, the Safavids solidified the region's boundaries. They ensured that an internal Iranian identity survived to become a modern nation distinct from its neighbors. That distinct nation arrived in the 20th century, caught between its past and a push for modernization, led by the monarch Reza Shah Pahlavi. He faced a reputational problem. In the West, the name Persia had become associated with an Orientalist caricature. It often represented a decadent, weak, and exotic landscape, an image that made the region appear vulnerable to colonial interference. When the Shah sent his 1935 diplomatic letter, he was challenging this Western perception. By requiring foreign governments to use the name Iran, the Shah demanded that his country be recognized as a sovereign, developing state, rather than a mystical relic. At home, however, the change caused immediate debate. Many intellectuals argued that the decree abandoned the historical weight and international prestige associated with the names Cyrus and Darius. The decision prioritized contemporary sovereignty over a name that carried thousands of years of Western recognition. While Persia remained the name of the past in the eyes of the world, Iran was the name the people had used for themselves for millennia. Then came 1979. A revolution resulted in the overthrow of the Pahlavi monarchy, entirely changing the country's relationship with the West. Under the leadership of Ayatollah Khomeini, the Islamic Republic was established, cementing religious rule over the state. In the decades since that revolution, the name Iran has become synonymous with geopolitical friction, economic isolation, and the government's religious ideology. Meanwhile, the word Persia survived in a different capacity. In the global consciousness, it has been decoupled from the modern state and is now used to describe a cultural heritage reserved for fine food, for intricate carpets, and for ancient history. These two words demonstrate that a nation's name carries the weight of its perceived identity. It remains a point of tension between the reality of a people and the narratives the world projects onto them.